The following podcast is a W2M Network original production. Visit W2Mnet.com for all of our other great podcasts, plus news, reviews, articles, and opinions from the worlds of wrestling, video games, football, and entertainment.
Wrestling to the Max NXT Review.
I'm taking back what's mine, I ain't giving in to what they tell me. Nah, I ain't listening. Can't deny I was made for this. Shove it back in the faces who say I
And we are live to tape on the W2M Network for the Wrestling to the Max NXT review for Wednesday, May 2nd, 2018. Good evening, afternoon, whenever you're listening, everybody. I am your host. My name is not Gary Vaughn. My name is Harry Broadhurst. Gary should be back with you guys next week here on NXT, and I will finally have my Thursday nights back. My co-host at this time, the Globo Gym to my average Joes, Brandon Biskobing.
Oh, God.
I pause
No.
you and you know it.
No, just no.
See, you can't.
I am
laugh
I am not a snake.
Okay, you can't laugh like that and then try to no sell it.
Yes.
That.
That was a good one. I will give you that. Nice dodgeball reference. But no, just no.
Just remember this, Brandon. If you can dodge a wrench.
Yes.
One of the most underrated movies of all time.
Oh, indeed. I haven't seen that in years.
I own it on DVD. I feel the need to go watch it after we're done with it. But let's get to what we're actually here to discuss, and that is the May 2nd episode of NXT here. Once again, coming to you live on the WWE, well, live to tape on the WWE Network, much the same way we're live to tape here on the W2M Network.
Precisely.
Symbolism. It's symbolism, man. It's symbolism. But anyway, your commentators for this show are Mauro Ranallo and Percy Watson. Nigel McGuinness was not there for the set of tapings due to the fact that his kid was being born. So congratulations to the new father, Nigel. Mm-hmm. That being said, Bisco, what do you say we go ahead and get into the show?
Let's do it.
All right, before I do, this is a presentation of the W2M Network, available online at W2Mnet.com for anything related to the worlds of wrestling, video games, entertainment, sports, football, and so much more. Make sure you guys check out W2Mnet.com. In addition, we are a presentation through the W2M Network on products such as iTunes, iHeartRadio, Stitcher, Podbean, CastBox. Pretty much anywhere where you listen to podcasts, you can listen to the W2M Network, including coming soon to Spotify. 1, 2, we're coming for you. Now, let's start the May 2nd edition of NXT TV. All right. Our opening promo backstage in their little hangout, because apparently they're the new world order of NXT. The Undisputed Era is joining us to discuss what went on last week on NXT TV, when first Adam Cole
Baby
had to defend his North American title against Oney Lorcan. And we saw a little bit of an exchange between Roderick Strong in the ring and a backstage promo from one Pete Dunne in order to set up their match this week in the main event on NXT TV. Adam Cole is yet again a glory's dick here. I don't think there's a better heel in NXT right now than Adam Cole.
Oh, no, absolutely not.
And I would argue that this recent turn of events, so to speak, see what I did there because he turned heel? Has done nothing but has completely refreshed Roderick Strong as well.
Oh, yes. I will say there is one heel that's probably just a tad bit better. I'm sure we'll talk about him later.
I guess that depends on if you consider Lars Sullivan a heel.
No. Who's the ultimate uber heel in NXT right now?
I don't think EC3 is a heel.
No.
Then who the f*** are you talking about?
Who's been the main focal point of a lot of the multiple storylines in NXT right now?
Okay, let me rephrase this statement then. Adam Cole is the best heel in the men's division.
No, not even in the men's division.
Oh, Tommaso Ciampa.
Yes.
I would say Cole does a better job than Ciampa does. I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that we see more of Adam Cole's personality with him and his running buddies in the Undisputed Era, whereas Tommaso Ciampa is basically just beating up Johnny Gargano from behind.
True, but like I think, see, Cole and Ciampa are two different forms of heel. I would compare Cole to like Kevin Owens, where he is the cool heel that a lot of people still like, myself included, no matter how dickish he gets. Whereas Ciampa, he's just so beyond, like, a douche that it's like, no, in spite of the fact that a lot of the, more contrarian, smarky fans during the feud in the last, before Takeover New Orleans, were trying to get some Psycho Killer chants going and starting to cheer for him, it still just felt wrong.
Yeah, I would make the argument that maybe you could say that Adam Cole is like that Steve Austin heelish face.
Yep.
And Tommaso Ciampa would be more like Harley Race.
Yeah, I could see that.
That gritty, dirty heel champion that does whatever needs to be done no matter the situation.
Yep.
Whereas Cole has a swagger about himself when he's going about this that you can't help but enjoy the guy's work.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see more from Adam Cole.
Baby.
A little bit later on in the show. Our opening contest, scheduled for one fall, is the winner of the Mae Young Classic Volume 1, Volume 2 coming to the network later this year. Kairi Sane taking on Shazza McKenzie, the, if I'm not mistaken, either current or just recently former Heart of Shimmer champion. I think she may have just dropped this title at the last set of tapings. Oops, spoiler.
Is that an indication that she's actually coming to NXT, or was this just kind of a one-off thing?
At the very least, I would say it's an indication that she's a very strong possibility for NYC V2.
That's true.
This match, not so much. This is all Kairi Sane, as the sliding D elbow in the corner leads us to the insane elbow drop, and Kairi pins Shazza at 1:45.
I mean,
really? It felt longer.
Yeah, it did feel longer. But, I mean, I think the fact that she actually got an entrance and everything, I think your second thought is probably accurate, where they may bring in some women to be more or less jobbers during tapings to some of the women from Mae Young Classic version 1, but they will be in Mae Young Classic V2 later on.
We won't see them starting to get any kind of extended push on television on NXT TV until after NYC V2.
Yep.
I mean, that would make the most sense to me.
Yeah.
Post-match, Kairi Sane is interrupted by the lady of NXT, Lacey Evans, who proceeds to put Kairi square on her keister with a forearm strike.
After doing her best Alexa Bliss impression.
I was super impressed with you. Wham!
Fake out.
What are your thoughts on Lacey Evans? Like, do you see anything there?
I see her kind of as more of not quite to the level of these two, just because it was two of them as compared to just one. But I see her being used a lot like the Iconics were being used in NXT. Where she's just going to be a nuisance. Where she's just going to come out, talk some crap about someone, and say, oh, she's better than them, and then proceed to get beat. She's just going to be a foil for all the face women, I think.
So JTTS?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay. Going back, we take a look at the attack on Gargano by the aforementioned Ciampa. Candice LeRae has an interview here, and very emotional during the course of this interview, talking about the fact that she thought that it was going to be a good year, that since her and her husband are together in NXT, but their former best friend, the man who was like family to them, has done nothing but ruin her time while she's been in the company here. Candice actually shows a good bit of range here, to the point that it's not something you expect from a WWE diva to have the kind of range that Candice does here. I really think they could have something special with LeRae. LeRae's a very good worker, and not to mention she obviously has the personality down too.
Not just that, but this is the first time, at least in a long time, there are a few exceptions here and there, but like they're only sporadic exceptions. This is the first time that we really see WWE actually not only acknowledge a real-life relationship, but use it almost entirely to build a character for both of them.
I mean, to an extent, we're kind of seeing this on SmackDown now with Jimmy Uso and Naomi.
Like I said, you're getting it sporadically on SmackDown with Jimmy and Naomi and with Lana and Rusev, but you're not getting it to the level that you are with Gargano and Candice.
A Lars Sullivan hype package lets us know that Lars will be back in the building soon. That takes us to our next contest, scheduled for one fall.
One fall.
As TM61, the Mighty, or as longtime independent fans know them, TMDK, the Mighty Don't Kneel, of Nick Miller and Shane Thorne take on the Street Profits of Montez Ford and Angelo Dawkins, who apparently Percy couldn't keep straight during the course of this contest. A little bit of a surprise here, as shady tactics by TM61 lead to them picking up the win when Shane Thorne pins Montez Ford, rolling him up and putting his feet on the ropes, held there by Nick Miller.
Mm-hmm.
Your thoughts on the fact that we might be seeing a little bit more of a shady side to the Mighty?
Well, I mean, I think, especially in this match, it was if they were going to give them the win, this is the only way to really do it without completely having the fans turn against you, because Street Profits need to get a push, point blank. They are one of the most popular, if not the most popular team on NXT currently. So the fact that they lose here is a huge shock. And I'm hoping it's more of, they wanted to give a cheap win to TM61 to keep their push alive a little bit, while not completely destroying anything for Street Profits. The one thing that was really surprising to me, and maybe this was just simply, time constraints because there were a lot of segments on the show, but we did not get any entrances for either team in this match.
That happened in a lot of the matches tonight, actually. There was no entrance for Patrick Scott in the next match. There was...
who is Patrick Scott facing?
Yeah, we'll talk about that when we get there.
Okay.
There's no entrances, like you mentioned, for TM61 or the Street Profits here. A little bit surprising, though, to see Shasta McKenzie get a full entrance and to see full entrances for both Bianca Belair and Candice LeRae.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I think that's more so because they're trying to push both of them kind of equally.
Hype package hype package on video, as we get ready for next week's War Raiders.
World Domination.
It's waiting for you to correct me, because
yes, everyone should know by now. It's War Machine. World Domination.
Not if you work for Marvel Comics. It's not. Taking on Heavy Machinery, that will probably be your semi-main event next week, as the following promo is Cassius Ohno talking about Tommaso Ciampa and Johnny Gargano, and saying point blank that he wants Ciampa's ass. I mean, not so many words. So that match is officially made, and I would assume will be your main event next week. This was a very jam-packed hour of wrestling.
Oh, yes.
Our next contest, number 3 on the night, scheduled for one fall.
One fall.
Is Patrick Scott taking on the returning to NXT Kona Reeves.
He did get an entrance. A very good one, might I add.
I don't see it. I give him 6 months.
Who? Oh, who? Kona Reeves or Patrick Scott?
Oh, Patrick Scott's a Jobber.
Well, but you misspoke. He did get an entrance.
No, he didn't.
Yes, he did.
He was in the ring.
I distinctly remember an entrance, and a very good one at that.
I distinctly don't, so I think you're remembering wrong. He was in the because he was grinning towards the camera while he was facing the hard cam in the ring.
Well, his music might have been still playing, at least.
Well, yeah, the announcer chick, Andrea DeMarco, announced him, but he didn't get a full come down the ramp entrance.
Okay, fair enough.
I give Kona Reeves 6 months.
I agree. Yeah. Oh, neither do I. Honestly, this is probably one of the first times, you hear it happen kind of snarkily, more so on the main roster than in NXT, but you see it more so snarkily, but sometimes seriously of, a let's go jobber chant going in these types of matches when the guy that they're trying to push isn't exactly over. And if I would have been at this taping, I would have been chanting very loudly, let's go jobber. Because this, I just don't see it.
You know what the problem for Kona Reeves is?
What?
Is the man who has a video package for him up next has basically the same gimmick and does a way better version of it.
Velveteen?
EC3.
Oh, EC3, okay.
I am in the top 1%.
I hate them both.
You can hate Ethan Carter III all you want to. That dude is money. I love how they're getting around saying what his name stands for. Do you remember Morrow's quote from Takeover?
Yeah.
Takeover.
Well, we talked about. Was it you and me, or was it me and Gary who talked about this? Of if they will ever actually mention his name in full.
Because at Takeover New Orleans, Morrow said that he asked him what.
Yeah, and he said it's a formula for success.
And yeah, he responds the formula for success, which I thought was fantastic and completely in character.
Oh yeah.
You notice we're talking more about EC3 than we are Kona here. That's how bad this match was.
Well, yeah, of course.
You know who he kind of reminded me of?
Who?
In regards to his facial expressions and his ring work?
Who?
Dan Spivey.
Yeah, I could see that.
That's not a compliment.
No, it's not. Because most of our listeners are probably saying, Dan Spivey, who?
Yeah, exactly. Hence my point.
And that's exactly what I thought when his first vignette came up for what?
It's those freaking bug eyes, man.
When his first vignette came up, I was like, wait, who? Who are they talking about? And then I saw Kona Reeves, and I'm like, okay, I think I remember seeing him as a jobber a year ago or something, but I completely forgot he even existed.
The aforementioned EC3 video package follows, followed by an interview with Dakota Kai, talking about the recent call-ups from NXT to SmackDown, saying that it has opened the door in the women's division. She does not wish to discuss Shayna Baszler. However, Vanessa Bourne interrupts and talks about the fact that Dakota is running scared. Kai says that, yeah, maybe, but she's not afraid of Bourne and challenges her to a match. I don't know how to feel about Vanessa Bourne.
I mean, I haven't really seen enough of her to really make a definitive...
She's one of those model-type cheerleader types that's making the transition into NXT. She used to be an NFL cheerleader. If people want to look for her, her real name is Danielle Camella.
Yeah. And there's really only one person, there's only one woman that I can think of that has made that transition successfully.
Oh, I can think of two.
Who's your second?
Well, I'm assuming the one you're thinking of is Naomi.
Yes.
Layla was also a former dancer for the NBA's Miami Heat.
Oh, okay. But
So,
I mean, her success was very limited. If she was in today's WWE,
granted, but for her time frame, she was still successful back when it was probably more about the model looks rather than the in-ring ability.
I'll agree with that. But I would compare her to like the Iconics.
That being said, Layla was gorgeous.
Meh.
I miss you, Layla. Come back. She married one of the NXT workers. Who was it? What was his name? I remember his name, and I'm trying. God, it was a dude who worked for. He worked for Big O. God, he worked for NXT as he did like the splash cam. I'm trying to remember the dude's name. I'm gonna have to look this up and get it to you guys. All right. Anyway, our following contest scheduled for one fall is Bianca Belair and Candice LeRae. Candice obviously a little bit distracted as this match happens here.
Did I not call this last week? They basically played this to a T of how I anticipated this being played out.
Ricky Ortiz was the guy's name, by the way,
Okay.
No, and I agree, and I think it was a wise decision here because it gives Bianca a big win and it gives Candice an out.
Yes. It gives Bianca a big win while still protecting Candice.
What do you make of Bianca's finishing move?
I like it.
I remember when Tori used to do it. Not your Tori, different Tori.
Yes, I know. Soon enough, though.
I don't know how I feel, though. Like, I feel like Bianca's athletic enough that they should let her use the 450 as her finish.
I'll agree with that, but I think they've pushed the whole thing with her hair so much now that, like, they gotta use it.
Okay, that's all well and good, but she's still not using her hair. She didn't use her hair in the course of this match.
Oh, you're right. I forget what exactly was her finisher on this.
Candice went for a tornado DDT. Bianca countered out of it and then hit the alley-oop, the overbomb, the release.
Oh, right. Bomb. I mean, it's not terrible, but yeah, I think I would have to agree with you that, you know, you'd like to see something a little more flair with her.
Let's consider the fact that her nickname is the EST of NXT.
Exactly.
She's the fastest. She's the agilest. She's the most athleticest. Okay, I'm making up words to fit the gimmick here, but you get my point.
She's the fastest. She's the strongest. She's the greatest.
The EST of NXT.
Yep.
And apparently she got the 1, 2, 3 on the NXT for being the... Never mind. Our main event scheduled for one fall.
One fall.
Okay, there was a commercial break here, but we don't discuss those on the
show.
It is Roderick Strong with remixed theme song. It was his old original Roderick Strong theme song, which then faded into the Undisputed Era theme song, as he's accompanied by Kyle O'Reilly and Adam Cole.
Baby! So does this mean that this is going to be his theme from now on, or is it going to be like at Greatest Royal Rumble where it's just the Undisputed Era theme moving forward?
I think maybe for singles matches he'll use the remix and then keep the actual Undisputed Era song for like the tag team title matches and stuff. He takes on the UK champion Pete Dunne in a non-title match. Pete Dunne picks up the win by disqualification in 9 minutes and 5 seconds after he hits the bitter end, but Cole and O'Reilly caused the disqualification as mentioned.
Wow, it was only 9 minutes and 5 seconds?
Dude, there were a lot of matches on this show, but none of them got any time.
Yeah, that's true.
Let me run down the match times here real quick for you guys.
Okay.
A minute and 45 for Kyrie and Shaza. 3:15 for TM61 and the Street Profits.
Which was shocking.
2 minutes and 2 seconds for Kona Reeves and Patrick Scott, which was about 2 minutes and 2 seconds too long.
Yep.
3 minutes and 30 seconds for Bianca Belair and Candice LeRae. and then Pete Dunne and Roderick at 9 minutes and 5 seconds.
So they got the longest by far.
Yeah, but still, by NXT standards, though, a traditional NXT main event usually goes anywhere from 12 to 16 minutes.
Yeah. I mean, they had a lot of things to, do in this match, or in this show.
Well, not to mention, I kind of understand not wanting to give this away in full in its first interaction, because I don't think we're anywhere near done between the...
Yeah, I was going to bring that up, especially with how this finished, I think. I have a feeling I know where this is going, leading into TakeOver Chicago. It's going to be a long build, but I see where this is going, I think.
I know where it's going into TakeOver Chicago. I'm thinking that we're probably going to get tag titles versus tag titles, and we may go champion versus champion at TakeOver Chicago.
I was thinking something completely different.
Are you thinking the Teddy Long special?
Well, the expanded Teddy Long special.
6-man tag player?
Yep.
I don't think that's a TakeOver quality match. I think I would do Strong and O'Reilly against Birch and Lorcan for the tag titles, and then have Adam Cole take on Pete Dunne in a champion versus champion match.
But Pete Dunne, outside of the fact that he's the leader of Undisputed Era, which screwed him, has no real beef with Adam Cole. So, you would think that if they're going to go with a singles match, it would be Dunne against Strong. Unless they're going to somehow finish that cleanly before Chicago.
No, I mean, TakeOver Chicago's like a half a month away, I want to say. Isn't it No, it's a month away. It's like June.
Yeah, it's...
The day before Money in the Bank, right?
Yes.
So that would be 6/17, I think.
Yeah, so we got a month and a half.
I don't know. I don't see the 6-man tag match being a match that they would want to take all the way to TakeOver Chicago.
Yeah. It'll be interesting to see where they go with this feud between the 6 of them, though.
There are a lot of different directions that you can go as well. So, I mean, I'm not going to sit here and say that they don't have a ton of options, because they do, and there are a lot of other little storylines that'll probably pop up here. I will say this much: I am a little disappointed that it's Danny Burch and Oney Lorcan, and it's not because I dislike Danny Burch and Oney Lorcan, but we talked about this on the podcast a couple of weeks ago, Brandon, when I first told Gary. I thought that it was going to be the Undisputed Era taking on British Strong style of Pete Dunne, Tyler Bate, and Trent Seven.
Yeah, I mean, that... in the sense of, in the sense of, cohesiveness, it would make more sense. But honestly, you could do something where, Danny Burch and Oney Lorcan, because of their beef with Adam Cole from last week, are it's just kind of an enemy of my enemy is my friend type of thing. And they team up and proceed to lose either in a 6-man tag or they lose their respective matches to Undisputed Era. But then Pete Dunne says, I'm not finished with you guys yet. I have a better team. I have a more cohesive team to bring in, and that's how we get British Strong Style versus Undisputed Era later on, going into TakeOver Brooklyn.
TakeOver Brooklyn 3? 4? 4. Good grief. Lots of takeovers. They've been running TakeOver specials since 2013 or 14.
14.
Yeah, because the first one would have been February. The TakeOver Arrival.
Yeah. Yeah.
Patrick Ketz and I have actually reviewed that on Wrestling Unwrapped, available in the archives here on the W2 Network. And that's going to send us home for the show here. We do a quick rundown of the card next week. EC3 takes on Raul Mendoza. Kashi Sono takes on Tommaso Ciampa. Heavy Machinery takes on the War Raiders.
War Machine.
Marvel.
Screw Marvel.
Speaking of people in NXT here, real quick, do you want to adjust the hot button rumor in regards to the independent scene in NXT right now?
I saw it. I forget who exactly it is.
Bask in his glory. Keith Lee.
Oh, okay. I mean, I haven't really seen enough of him. He's a British guy, right?
Nope, he
No?
is a very tall, very heavy black guy.
Oh, okay. See, like,
See-
what promotions is he in?
Evolve, FIP.
Oh, okay. See,
A lot of the WWN stuff.
Oh, okay. Okay. See, when it comes to my indie consumption, it is pretty much exclusively Ring of Honor and New Japan.
Not sure either of those classify as independent
Well,
promotions.
you know what I mean.
Your non-WWE consumption.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. Is that that's going to officially wrap us up, right? We
Yep.
got to put a score of 1 to 10 on this episode. Where do you fall?
I'm gonna put this as a 7. Originally I was thinking of giving it a 7.5, but then I was like, like we were talking about with the limited amount of matches and the limited quality of matches, I dropped it a little down to 7. The backstage segments, the storyline progressions of this show were great. The matches, not as much, but, it was a means to an end tonight. Or last night, excuse me.
For those wondering, we're recording this on Thursday, May the 3rd.
Yes. A lot of these matches were either A, just squashes to enhance someone, like with Kona Reeves and with Kairi Sane, or it had some sort of storyline significance. The Bianca Belair and Candice LeRae match, while not taking anything away from Bianca Belair, I'm sure she will have a lot of success in NXT and beyond moving forward. But the primary the primary storyline going into this match, and the reason why she got the win in this match was because of Candice being, not completely focused on the match because of Johnny. The whole undisputed, or the Johnny Gargano, or not Johnny, the Roderick Strong versus Tyler or Pete Dunne match was also a means to an end. This isn't going to be the end of this. This is just bringing more players into the feud. I feel like I'm missing one match. Oh, the Street Profits versus TM61. That was basically just them trying to give TM61 a little bit of a push while, protecting Street Profits, and maybe potentially giving TM61 a bit of a heel turn, going down the road.
See, I dislike turning TM61 heel, and the reason I say that is because you already have heel tag team champions in NXT in the Undisputed Era.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to need babyface challengers for them. You already, realistically speaking, on the tag team side of the NXT right now, you only have the Street Profits and Heavy Machinery as your babyface teams on the tag team side of things.
I mean, you don't... while they... I guess in terms of the way they've been handling themselves, they are a heel team in a WWE sense. You can't really say War Machine is really a...
I would say they're tweeners right now. We haven't really got an official definition, although having them feud with Heavy Machinery to start their run does kind of lean them heel.
True, but I feel like that is more of not so much a heel versus face, or like it's not so much, we're gonna give them this top face team to feud with to make them heels. It's more of everyone's been clamoring for this match because it's the Battle of the Machines and it's another hoss fight. So they just kind of wanted to get it out of the way to move both of these teams on to something else, I feel.
Big Lads Wrestling.
Yes, precisely.
I'm going to give last night's episode of NXT a 5.5.
Wow.
And I know that number sounds low, but hear me out here. I have 3 simple words to describe why I'm giving the show a 5.5. Brandon, you ready?
Yep.
Less is more. When it comes to NXT, we've pretty much established that a 3 to 4 match format works wonders for this show because it allows you to get in the stuff that you need to get in, and it allows you to save the stuff that you don't need to get in for down the road here. Realistically speaking, since we had the Candice and Bianca Belair match scheduled for later in the show, Kairi Sane and Shazza McKenzie could have waited until a later episode.
I'll agree with that.
Realistically speaking, because we had the Roderick Strong Pete Dunne match later on in the show, you probably could have saved Kona Reeves' debut for a later episode of NXT television.
Mm-hmm. But, I mean, hey, maybe this will be the kick in the pants that they need to, because it seems, and it's crazy that this is happening after a shakeup and they lost a bunch of people, but it seems like they're trying. I mean, granted, 2 of the matches were just simply squash matches to progress newer people. But it seems like they're expanding and doing more storylines and more branching storylines in NXT than they have in the past. So maybe this will be the kick in the pants that they need to expand to 2 hours.
No, it's definitely going to be a case of them definitely restacking the deck. Because with everything having been changed by the Superstar shakeup, obviously NXT has to put pieces back into play in a different way than what they already were.
Mm-hmm.
All the same, though, I think I know a lot of people who feel this way. NXT tends to do its best work when there's 3 or 4 matches on the show and not 5 like there were tonight. Because it's just trying to fit too much into too small of a window.
Yep.
All right, Brandon, anything to plug before we get out of here?
Well, for those of you who are football fans, be sure to listen to Harry, myself, Jason Teasley, and Eric Watkins on The Kickoff from last night, our draft review. So be sure to check that out. And as always, I'm on Raw and SmackDown and 205 Live. Not sure who I'm going to be with this week for Raw, but it's always myself, Harry, and Liz Puglisi for SmackDown and 205 Live.
Yes, it is. The Wrestling to the Max Monday Night Raw review this week should be Brandon and Gary Vaughn making his return. We will see what happens. Next Tuesday night will be myself, Brandon Biskobing, and hopefully Liz Puglisi back with us after missing a couple of weeks due to family issues for SmackDown and 205 Live. The kickoff returns in August. Sorry to burst everyone's bubble, but this was only a 2-week thing in order to preview the draft. We will be back full-time in August with the start of exhibition football as well as the beginning of the college football season 2. And then Brandon will be back next Thursday night with the NXT review as well. You can find me on Monday nights doing the Raw Reaction every Monday at 11:30 p.m. with Tony Acero and Andrew Ballas over on the Chairshot Radio Network. And Brandon and I have tentative plans to bring you How the War Was Won once I get there in my watch through.
You need to catch up. You're only, what, in 94?
But August of 94, so I'm getting there.
You have a year to go.
It is approximately a calendar year, which, with the way that I've been watching shows lately, will be about 2 or 3 months. Hey, that's a pretty good pace, I feel.
Yeah, it is.
We'll see what happens. But so for Brandon Biskobing, I'm Harry Broadhurst, thanking you for listening to the Wrestling to the Max NXT review here on the W2M Network, available online at W2Mnet.com. Thanks for listening, everybody. Brandon will be back next week with NXT. I hope not to be, but if I am, I am. It happens. Have a good one, everyone.